Hello everybody, this is Jim Slim, and today I will be reviewing LEGO Star Wars set number 75322, the Hoth AT-ST, featuring 586 pieces and 3 minifigures, although interestingly enough they did not include the probe droid as one of the listed minifigures, which is strange because they include the brick-built gonk droid as a listed minifigure on other sets, but if you do include it, it technically has 4 minifigures. This set retails in the United States for $50. Taking a look at the front of the box, we have that brand new 2022 LEGO Star Wars box artwork with a triangle of black greebling. We have a blue line denoting that this is from the original trilogy. We have this awesome artwork, I feel like it's perfect. They have the AT-ST, its driver popping out the top, Chewie and a Rebel fighting against it, as well as the probe droid that's a little inaccurate. And down in the lower left-hand corner, we have Darth Vader with the blue background, denoting that this is an original trilogy set, as well as our 3 minifigures, also on a blue background, the blue textured background. Around the side, we have more black greebling. We have the triangle continued along there, as well as this new little Hoth Imperial logo they have that is noticeably not mirrored or replicated on any of the sets we got from Book of Boba Fett or The Mandalorian. We have a great side box art which looks pretty much identical to the front, thanks to the way that they did this. On the back, we have a great artwork that takes up the entire back of the box, showing all of the features, as well as just another view of the battle scene. Around the left-hand side, nothing too exciting. Top, we have our actual size snowy Chewbacca. Bottom, nothing special, but we do have our thumb tabs, which I'm going to go ahead and punch out, and we'll get into our unboxing experience. Having punched out our thumb tabs, I'm going to go ahead, still need to do, whoop, lost the thumb tab basically. I'm going to open that up. Here we go, we've got 4 bags of parts, and an instruction booklet. Taking a look at the instruction booklet, we have Chewbacca as our progress bar minifigure, as well as in the back, we have the Skywalker Saga, as we know that's coming out this April. We also have the 3 sets that were released in the January 2022 wave over here, as well as the 4 play scale sets that they have out currently for your Hoth build. Alright, and there we have it, our completed 2022 Hoth AT-ST. But before we take a look at the build, let's take a look at these here minifigures. First up, we have Snowy Chewbacca. He comes with his standard bowcaster stud shooter, one of the best stud shooters in LEGO in my opinion. And he also comes with an extra snow printing all over his face, chest, legs, all the way. Looks like we got some, hard to tell, it's probably not on the upper waist because that's covered by his torso headpiece, but it is on the middle of the waist, the legs, and the feet. You know, taking a look around back, we do have snow on just the back of the torso as well. Next up, we have our Imperial AT-ST driver, Hoth edition, I believe. I'm gonna have to pull up the one from the Rogue One set to see the difference, but we does have, of course, the printed AT-ST pilot helmet, which underneath he has this angry face, which I thought was pretty good for whenever he's actually popping his head out of the AT-ST. And on the back he has a smiling face. There's a back printing. He has chest printing, waist printing, and leg printing. Very nice figure. And he has a little blaster. Last but not least, we have our Rebel Trooper, who seems to be wearing the same getup as the Caucasian trooper, maybe a commander from the minifigure pack. You know, she has actually a darker skin tone than was featured on the female rebel in that pack, and she has actually different face printing because she doesn't only have this one on the front, which is actually slightly different from that one, but she has a slightly angrier one. She comes with the white backpack, comes with chest printing. She does come with a back print as well that most of the time, if you're like me, you're going to just have it covered by the backpack, so it's a bit redundant to have, but it's that nice added detail. And then finally, we have what is technically not really a minifigure. We have our brick-built probe droid, which I can't tell from the screenshots, might be a little oversized given source material, but I believe this is a very fine looking build. I believe it's our first minifigure scale brick-built probe droid, and you can just see all the little details. Each of the four arms has something different going on. You know, it's a very fine looking build. And it comes with this little base piece, which you can either keep it on, or if you have a base plate for your Hoth mock, you can just go ahead and pop the little clear standoff, the trans clear flagpole standoff. You can just pop it onto a stud on your mock as well. And finally, we have the Atst itself, which, given the box artwork, you know, it looked really great on there. And, you know, it doesn't look that bad in person, although the one complaint I'm going to have right off the bat is that from this angle, the top piece looks like it just overhangs the sides a bit too much, you know. If you look at it a little more straight on, it's really not as noticeable, or look at it at an angle, it's not as bad. Now the top, it has a similar design to our last two AT-STs. Only minor changes. Obviously the cockpit is shrunken down. For comparison, I brought in the Mandalorian AT-ST, since this is pretty similar to the last AT-ST we got, the last Imperial one, although it's just a bit more colorful, a bit more flavorful. But taking a look in comparison for the details, you can see the head is much more shrunken down. The legs are longer, feet are a bit different. Taking a look up here, you can see when the top hatch opens, you don't have the handles inside. So if you want to have your AT-ST driver hanging out, you're just going to have to kind of set him down in there. Now if you close the hatch a bit, it does provide that added support just to keep him up there. You know, it's not quite as nice as this where they have the handlebars for your Clantunian Raider to hang on to, but it gets the job done. Taking a look inside the cockpit, one difference you're going to notice right off the bat is, since the shutters are closed, they aren't attached to the lid anymore. You know, the inside of this is much more cramped in comparison to what we've received previously. As one might imagine, it is a much smaller cockpit. But you can see down in there, you have a nice little seat, easy to get your figure in and out of. I'm going to go ahead and set him down in there. So he can just fit right on in there without much room to spare at all, which is why even in 2022 we can't fit two pilots inside of an AT-ST playset, surprisingly enough. They just build too many structural details into the side. And in the back here, you'll notice that instead of just having one clip for our blaster, we have a clip for our blaster and a clip for those binoculars, which is nice, you know, because he cannot fit in there with his weapons at all. Taking a look back at the outside, as you can tell, these bars are a lot shorter than the old ones. You know, looking at the sides, we have different details. This one, I actually really like the shape, the profile on this thing. I think it looks really cool, you know. And I do like the new weapons, the guns on this side. It looks like they got a little weapons array going on with a little shield on it, using that little saber piece. Always love those ingot pieces. They look really good. This piece is a lot more solid than what they put on here, where they use this dome on top of these rounded tiles. And here it's just one solid piece, although if you play around with these too much, they might just come off, but hopefully you're not going to be doing that too much. A child might, as this set is for ages 9 and up. For me, I'm not going to be doing that. You have the gun on this side, but honestly, the play feature that you should be using the most is the spring-loaded shooters, which work about the same as on the previous models, where you push these and they'll each fire off a spring-loaded missile. Now around the back, we still have these printed ventilation circular tiles. They were actually different on here, apparently. No, they weren't even printed. They were stickers. And look how bad I did on those stickers. That's just terrible. But I'm glad that it's very nice that they were actually printed on this set, and they didn't cheap out on it this time. They had a lot of sticker details and, you know, paint rollers and stuff down in this one, because that area, obviously they lost the cover for it. This one, the engine is complete with its cover. You do still have the same turning mechanism, which for some reason on this one is not turning. I don't know why. Oh, okay. You need a bit more force than I was putting on it. This one turns. It doesn't have the clicking piece. It doesn't click into place every so often, and it actually spins 360 degrees. So it's actually a little bit of an improvement on the previous model. Looking down here, you can see some details that you're not even really going to be seeing very often, as they're covered by the leg. You have some details down in front that are different. Again, this one's going to be a bit more stripped down versus this one, because this is the height of the Empire, the Imperial occupations. For here, we have a bit of mirror details. And each of these legs has a lot of cool brick built details. It's nice that instead of having a bunch of stickers like that model, everything is brick built. We have a similar leg design. These are posable to a degree, although for stability's sake, I usually keep mine in about this position. If you want, you could also have him falling down. Can't really run. No, I'd probably fall over like this. Not really a good idea to do so. I can get a look at the bottom, where it's a bit more flat than the previous model. On the bottom of this one, had a bit more detail going on, a bit more structural support or whatever. Not really much, since it is the bottom of the model after all. The one other complaint I have about this build, besides this lid overhanging the sides a bit too much, is that the sides are very loosely held in place. Now, over here, as you can see, I've removed the front plate. So you can see all that's really holding the front in place is that tiny red piece. Whereas on the previous AT-ST models, you had this whole rod holding it in place, which is definitely more of a secure connection, although they had to size it down, change the area where it connects. So I'm not sure if they have a piece that would have been an adequate substitute, but it suffers in terms of stability because of that. Having placed the Hoth AT-ST next to my playset AT-AT, you can get an idea of how your Hoth MOC might end up looking at the playset scale if you don't have the UCS AT-AT, especially if you're like me and got that little Chinese New Year extra pack and just threw that in to be silly or whatever. But the AT-ST looks surprisingly good next to this scaled down playset scale AT-AT. It is not one-to-one scale, so one might believe it would look not so good, but especially since mine is kind of raised up a bit, I do believe it looks pretty good. So, final thoughts on this set. For me, obviously, this is an absolute must-have, because I had first gotten the AT-AT, and when they brought out the Hoth Minifigure Rebel Pack, and this pretty much alongside each other, I knew I had to have both. I knew I had to have my own Battle of Hoth, and I will be picking up that Snowtrooper Battle Pack, before the year end. My thoughts on the design choices, I believe they made a lot of good design choices. You know, the cockpit, it only looks bad from a certain angle where the lid seems a bit too big. They could have gone with some different pieces to have it taper towards the front. That probably would have made it look a bit better, but it is what it is, and it ended up coming out pretty good in my opinion. The minifigure selection is great. You know, you get the one Rebel, you get that snowy Chewbacca, who's the first of his kind. You get the AT-ST Hoth pilot, and you get not really a minifigure, but a cool little side build slash character slash droid figure, which rounds out the set since it doesn't have 4 minifigures. So for $50, yes, for me this was a great value. Now it may go on sale later on, probably towards the end of the year, holiday season, given that it was part of the January 2022 wave. So if I were to put a number on everything, the design category would be solid 9 out of 10. Really not sure what they could have done other than taper that top piece, that top lid, to make it look better. The minifigure selection, also going to be a 9 out of 10. Maybe some people would have liked to receive another Rebel minifigure. The probe droid is definitely not a bad selection at all. In fact, it brings that price per piece count to a very, very savory number for anyone who adheres to that. And with the Hoth minifigure pack available either in person at the Lego store or online, you really don't need that many more Rebels. I also briefly touched on the value category. It is going to be, I believe, a 9 out of 10 as well, because I might have to give it a 10 out of 10 because that price per piece is very, very delicious. So for $50, I do believe this is an absolute steal. You know, I'm going to go ahead and throw an affiliate link down in the description in case you're like me and you want it now. And as always with the affiliate links, you pay nothing extra. You get it delivered to your house. Especially if you're an Amazon Prime member, you'll probably end up getting free shipping as well. And at the end of the day, you're helping to support this channel, helping me to bring you better content, which I'm hoping you guys enjoy. If you do enjoy this content, let me know by smashing that like and subscribe button. Let me know in the comments. Your feedback is always greatly appreciated. If there's anything you feel I could improve on, let me know. If there's anything that you'd like to see, let me know. If you like the set, definitely let me know. Let me know your thoughts on this set. Is there anything you like about it? Is there anything you don't like about it? But with all that being said, this is Jim to the Slim, signing out.